Shop G&O for the following season, everybody. Make sure you're checking out their brand new website launching on the 5th of May. If you sign up and become part of the members club, it's a £25 membership club, absolutely free, everybody. You can only get it through one Leeds. Competitive rates across the site as well. Better than Amazon, Vinted, and eBay. Make sure you check out Shop G&O. It is an e-commerce site which is tailored for all of your needs. Also, everybody, we are sponsored by Job Match Group. Talking about tailoring, make sure you check out this. It's got very specific job needs tailored to all of your every single need. Make sure you check it out, everybody. Launching on the 6th of May. Well worth it. Finally, we're sponsored by the lads at Match Bingo. £2 per card, £5 for the price of 4. Get involved every match day, everybody. The QR code is in the corner. And let's get into the show, shall we? Well, hello, everybody. Little bit of a different scenario. I'm in a Premier Inn, feeling very like Alan Partridge today. Apologies if the sound isn't great, but it is what it is. I can hear noise outside, which is slightly annoying me, but I'm gonna block all of it out because I'm being joined by my good pals tonight for one of the season enders. You know, we're getting to the end, aren't we? It's absolutely signed, sealed, and delivered. Leeds and Burnley are up, and it's all down to Sheffield United now. Can they join us? We're going to be, getting through the coverage as well on the Conor McGilligan channel throughout, and we're going to also be, covering it on here as well. So shout out to all of you in the chat. Make sure you subscribe and like and check the video out from earlier. Without any further ado, the boys are back. Jimmy's shaking his head, which is not a good sign.
It's
Jimmy,
classic Jimmy. Classic Jimmy.
What was that intro? What was that intro? I don't think it. Hey guys, and welcome back to One Leeds. If you step in, you're going to be in for a fun-filled time. Let's
my best bit. My favourite bit was speaking of tailoring. That was a beautiful link, Connor. Beautiful link.
Speaking of
idea to put your hands in up front, though, mate. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, it's as if I've been inspired. It's as if I've been inspired.
Listen, I'm not taking any credit for that. That Ant and Deck style, and if you end of the show and all that sort of thing that you were doing. Wow.
Joe, this isn't camaraderie, is it, mate? You're supposed to pick your friends up, Joe. Do you know what I mean?
If you check the private chat, mate, I've already said that was sick, but then
Jimmy went straight to
the public comments and said, "What's that?" and started criticising it. I loved it. I was loving it. I'm like, yes, production values have gone up tenfold.
I've been working on a new intro all day. I'll have you know. So. Yeah, we'll rival that. We'll not to be revealed yet, but you've already dissed. Look, Connor's gone already, so we'll carry it, show Joe. We'll carry.
Oh, here we go. Bloody hell, Connor.
He's already started off by saying the end of the season is might be end of the season for some people. It's not end of the season for everybody.
You've got 2 games left,
but hopefully more. Hopefully more than that, mate.
Oh, dearie me. Okay.
Welcome back.
Yep. Welcome back. I'm back. Best show on YouTube. Hope Sheffield. Oh, I love that, Terry. Hope Sheffield go up.
Hope Chef you go up, he said. Hope Chef you go up, he said.
Absolutely love that. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Pay me later, Jim Bob. Connor, you in Reading Premier Inn. Slightly strange that you know that, Jason. Maybe I've told you, but yes, I am in a Reading Premier Inn, and I don't know if any of you lads have been to Reading before. Joe, I feel like you might have done. He
looks like a Reading kind of guy, doesn't he?
I look like a man that goes on football matches. I've been to Reading away a few times.
Yeah, it's what are your thoughts on Reading?
I think more David Brent. But
genuinely didn't see much of the town. Didn't see, even if it is a town, city, whatever. I just parked up near the ground, walked there, and left.
No, listen, so honestly,
I can't really give you too much on Reading as a town or a vibe.
Joe, I promise you, not all towns are like Burnley. You can go out and see some nice things. Look, there are some nice sites out there in the UK.
Mate, you're talking about nice size. It's lovely around here on the outskirts of town. Just don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about
that. Production has skyrocketed. Good lad, Louis.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I know, mate. It's nice. It's nice having a bit of nice. And
Jimmy, you should try it. You should try and be nice to people.
I am very nice. I've been very nice to Connor actually today. Very nice to Connor.
Oh, yeah.
All of you know.
Yeah, he's got his niceties in. Liam says, "Evening, guys. All great content creators, but you're late. Must have been Joe's. It was Joe's fault. It was.
Yeah.
I was the only person that were. Well, Jimmy could have been here. I wouldn't know.
I was sat
staring at an empty room, so I went to make a brew.
I was waiting for Wi-Fi at Reading Premier Inn to come on because I was sat backstage waiting for host.
Yeah, I've just realised you can see just the purple up there as well. There'll be Lenny Henry in my bed as well. Reese says, Connor, you at the trophy parade on Monday? I am, mate. Jim, are you coming to the trophy parade? Do you fancy it?
I think I'm busy Monday. I think I'm busy.
Dear.
Is it the trophy parade? Might not be. Up the Plymouth.
Yeah, to be fair, sorry, not trophy parade, promotion parade. Yeah, that's
what I've been calling ours, but that's what I expect to be calling ours.
Ours has just been pushed back a bit, I think. Ours is pushed back a little bit.
Well, Jim, we'll start off with you, mate.
Oh.
You've come in with a bit. I don't know. You've come in with a bit of energy today. Maybe it's because we've
not with that intro. It got me pumped. Talk to me about tailoring, Con. Talk to me about tailoring.
Well, tailor your every need. Job Match Group. Make sure you check it out. Right, description below. F1 jobs, football jobs, anything you want.
Yeah.
Check out Mike and the gang.
Nice. If Mike needs to sponsor anybody in Sheffield, he knows where we are. Okay.
You can't stand Sheffield United. We're talking earlier on. So
jealousy's a curse.
Kershaw says, got to say, Joe's pod is excellent. Recently described. He's also very complex. Joe's a good lad. He goes under the radar.
Not like you two. I'm actually genuinely a nice lad.
Joe goes under the radar because he turns up 15, 20 minutes an episode. So, we need to get to know the true Joe. Next season, we're in the Premier League, Jim, if you fancy it. When we're in the Premier League, this will continue as well. But we're going to have to find a different format if Jimmy's team don't fancy getting their fingers out their ass. Anyway, let's get on to Sheffield. Let's start with Sheffield United. We'll get to the top two later on. Jim Bob, playoffs. I actually think this is probably the best playoff structure you lads could have asked for. I think Millwall are not going to get in there. I think the Clarets will probably, Millwall have to go and beat. They have to go and beat Turf Burnley, which hasn't happened at Turf Moor all season. Are we looking at a scenario now where it's going to be Coventry, Middlesbrough? Obviously, Blackburn have to come to the Blades and win, which has its own context. Could they come and really put in a bit more of an emphasized performance, of which we didn't expect about 6-7 game weeks ago when we were together? Feels like it's going to be Coventry or Middlesbrough. It also feels like this is the best case scenario for Sheffield United, not the playoffs as such, but the teams in there.
Can I just shock you? I like Burnley. I hope Burnley do the job on Saturday, and I think they will. To be honest, you have every reason to want to go and win. Titles up for grabs. Obviously, Millwall come in after a playoff spot, but aren't guaranteed to get one, even if they win at a place that Burnley haven't been beaten all season. So I'm quietly confident that Millwall don't get in. I don't think you can say it's best case scenario. I mean, it depends which way you want to look at it. I'm as confident as I can be going into the playoffs. Whilst respecting all the teams that are in it, because if you look at the Coventry, yes, we've beaten Coventry resoundingly, we've beaten Middlesbrough resoundingly this season. Bristol City, I think we're a better side than Bristol City, and I think the league will tell you that we're a better side than Sunderland. Although I wouldn't look forward to playing Sunderland. I think it could well be a Sunderland-Sheffield United final. But again, all respect to those teams that are in playoffs. But you could also make an argument for Coventry and Borough and Bristol City all having players that can damage us. So we just need to be the best Sheffield United we can be. And then I'm confident.
Sounds like my missus when she's just like, she's like, Connor, you be the best man you can be. Come down to Reading. Innit? Come down to Reading. Be the best man you can be for my friend's wedding. But carry on, Jim.
No, I'm done now. I'm done.
Okay, fair enough.
That was the best I could be.
But I do think have you got any? And look, is it just down to that game week being the maddest game week, really. Yeah. I mean, in what, 7-8 days? I don't quite remember the timeline. It might have been 7 to 10 days, but 3 losses on the bounce, and you've bounced back with 2 wins literally on the bounce. It is just, it's the worst blip on it, Jim. That was it, because you've kind of got back on what you were doing anyway. You know, you're 8 wins in 10. You're back on it right now, 2 wins in 2, and it's almost like that 3 games is literally just. I mean, what? How do you even? What do we even put that down to? Because normally, for example, with Leeds United last season, 3 wins in 11, and towards the back end of the season, there wasn't any uplifting form. We just completely gone.
We've done it, mate. We've done it to death. We've had that reaction that you were saying. That what happened? What has happened? Don't know. Is the honest answer. None of us really know. We're worried that we might have run out of steam. We're worried that the pressure got to us, and that might have been the case. But I genuinely feel like we've regrouped, and I'm not saying we are the same force that we were at the beginning of the season. I don't think, it depends whether he goes with Rob Holding. I think that's a big thing for us. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm as confident as I can be. Like I said, listening to Wilder speak, then he is as geared up for this as he possibly can be. So I don't really think whatever happens on Saturday, I don't think that'll shake the playoff campaign at all. I think we will go into it fit, firing. I think we're prepared for it. We've had a chance to get our heads around it, and I'm pretty sure we'll go well. Whether it's going to be enough, I can only hope. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm not dreading it like I thought I might be.
Joe?
Cheers, boy.
Joe, how are you chiming in on this, mate, when you're looking at Sheffield United? Because I feel like it's a good topic of conversation right now. I think you look at Sunderland, you look at the other 2 teams. I look at Sheffield United and I think they are the much better team. But then I guess you kind of look at those Sunderland and Sheffield United fixtures, and me and Jim kind of went back and forth with it. I genuinely thought there was a conversation of Sunderland being the better in those 2 legs. But I would also say, I think Jim was saying at the time, look, Connor, it was a win and a loss, and we had a large percentage of the game that we lost as well. I think that would be, it feels, I don't know about you, Joe, but if Sunderland managed to get to a final, I think with the quality that they have on the pitch, it's a much more competitive final. And I would almost edge to say it's pretty 50-50. What are your thoughts on that, mate?
I've been pretty consistent with it. I've always said there's 3 of the best teams in the league, or us 3, and then there's Sunderland, and then there's the rest. And that's why I'm still pretty confident that I do think Sheffield United will win the playoffs. However, again, I said several weeks ago when we were at the Brotherhood in Manchester that the only team that I would worry about as a Burnley fan, Ian Fleming, brother at arms, as a Burnley fan playing in the final was Sunderland, because it's a big pitch. And they've got energetic young players, and they do have the quality. I just feel like recently, and I know they've rested players, and I know they've changed things up a little bit of Sunderland, and they've gone off the boil intentionally in a way. But the form that they've dropped off is just ridiculous. They bang out of form at the minute at Sunderland, and it takes a lot to turn that habit around.
Joe, it's
we get to the final. Joe, I'm not sort of beat Leeds.
It's one draw in 5. They've lost 4 in 5.
It's mad. That's what I mean. It's mad. They've properly dropped off.
It's a huge risk because they have rested a lot of the first teamers, but it's a huge risk going into the playoffs, because if it looks like they're going to play Bristol City. So, for example, if they do that, Bristol City are they were poor against Leeds. They were very poor against Leeds, and Leeds made them look poor as well. To be honest, it wasn't just not taking anything away from Leeds, but if the Bristol City that's turned up for the vast majority of the season, they could easily do a job on Sunderland, particularly in out of sorts. Sunderland who, haven't been playing together for the last month, really. So it's a risky game from Regis Labrie. I think everybody recognises Sunderland have got the individual quality in the squad to be able to win any game, really. They've got match winners, haven't they? Isidore stands out, Joe Bellingham. They've others as well that we could go through most of the team. But are they going to be match sharp? Are they going to be, as up for it as other teams that are coming in with a little bit of form behind them? I don't know is the honest answer.
Yeah, I find it so interesting, because it feels like what he's done is he's rotated the side. At one point in the last 5, I can't remember if it was if they were at home or away, but he put Lefay in the middle. He's come back, and we all thought, we were at the Green King shoot. We all thought, didn't we? Lefay comes back in towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's a right move for Sunderland because, you know, you've arguably got one of the best players in the Championship coming back in, but he's been part of this side now. I think it's either 3 out of the 5 games, or maybe even 4 out of the 5 games, whether or not he's been out on the left or central, and it hasn't worked. I wonder if Sunderland have almost gone a little bit too early. They did a social media post. It was like, we have confirmed our Championship playoff place.
Yes.
And then after that, it just nosedived. And I don't know what's happened. Is it complacency? Is it, we'll get ourselves back up? But Jim, they played Oxford last week. They put all the big boys back out there. And I did a video on my other channel, and a lot of Sunderland fans are telling me this is tactics. If I tell you what, if I'm a Leeds fan in that situation, I'm putting my full team out and I've got 1 game week left. Jim, I'm nervous if they're putting in a performance like that against Oxford. Their XG's lower than Oxford, and Oxford 17 shots, beating 2-0.
I know. There's always the form is just one factor of it as well. It's the desire to win, and it's sort of the intangibles, isn't it? So Sunderland, if they bang out of form coming into the game, are their players going to be confident enough to think, well, we can go up against this Bristol City or Coventry side or Middlesbrough, whoever they end up facing? Are they confident to say we can go and we can turn them over? Because
Jim, I can understand. I can understand what Regis Labrise was doing. I mean, we had a chat about it. I think we did on the last Battle Lines, where we were looking at it and saying, well, you rest your best players, and then they're ready for the playoffs. But how key is the timing? The timing is so important, isn't it?
I think it depends on. I mean, there's 2 different ways of looking at it. In that you can either sacrifice the form and rest your key men, which risks them losing match sharpness and match fitness, and obviously you a high chance of losing those games and not coming into the playoffs in form as a club, or you go with your strongest team, risk burning out your players or injury or cards or whatever it might be. And there's a balance. What Chris Wilder's done is rotated, knowing we've got 2 games to go. He rotated the side against in the last game, and then against Stoke, and I think against Blackburn, I would be surprised if he didn't go with probably 10 of the 11 that will start in the playoffs, and I think we'll only rest Gus Hamer. To be honest, I think that will be because he's gearing up for the playoffs now. I think that's the way you've got to do it. Play almost your strongest side now, other than your key man, who we are wrapping in cotton wool. I think that's the way to go. I might be wrong, but that's certainly the way a lot of Unitedites are thinking we will go into this last game against Blackburn. And we're pleased as well that it's a competitive game, because Stoke still were fighting for their lives, so they give us a good game. They weren't just like there to be run over. Blackburn certainly won't be any pushovers tomorrow, knowing that they can still get into the Saturday, knowing that they can still get into the playoffs. And that's good for us, because we're playing up against teams that will push us back, whether we're playing our absolute strongest side or 90% of our strongest side. It's good preparation for the playoffs. So I'm not quietly confident. I suppose I am, but I'm as comfortable as I can be going into such a high stakes knockout competition.
Yeah, Remy says Bristol City looked dead on their feet again. I mean, there's 30 points between us and Burnley and Bristol City as well. But that looked all the 30 points. I mean, that wasn't even, I think it was probably our best performance of the season.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I think it's more you being incredible on the night, on the day, whatever it was that day. It was night, weren't it? It was Monday night, than them being poor. I thought you just pushed him aside very, very easily. Whereas, like I said, it's not like when you did it against Stoke, I was like, yes, Leeds are good, but this is Stoke, with all due respect to Stoke City. But then when you do it to Bristol City as well, I feel like, maybe Leeds are in the stride at the right time. They're already up. You're already up. The pressure's off. I know you still want the title, but the pressure's off, and it's helping, I think.
We played Stoke, though, and we expected a bit of a reaction. They were poor against Leeds, but again, I think that's testament to Leeds as well, because I don't know whether it was Stoke were intimidated by playing at Ellen Road or wherever it was, but we played Stoke and they had everything to lose if they didn't go for it, and they did a little bit. To be fair, they were still poor. We were the better side, but they give us a little bit of a game at least. So maybe that's going to be the case for Bristol City in terms of they got beaten by a much better side, but when they fancy the chances against someone a little bit more, like Bristol City go up against Preston, don't they, on final day? And Preston could actually get relegated. I think there's a chance that Preston drop into bottom three.
Jim,
looking at the fixtures.
Jim, I think they'll go.
Yeah, I think they could.
I think there's too much for it. I think they get beat by Bristol City. But I just think there's too many. I don't think Hull win at Pompey. I don't think Hull win at Pompey.
Hull need a point at Pompey if Preston are going to lose. Derby and Stoke need to draw, and Luton need a point at West Brom. I think it's doable.
I think that's really feasible. I honestly think
Preston. I just think Hull get beat at Portsmouth. I genuinely do. I'd love it if Preston ended up getting relegated.
Massinho has got those boys. I mean, they'll be absolutely fighting tooth and nail because they've done that all season. And what a manager he's been, by the way.
Yeah, no mugs Portsmouth.
Oh, they're not. They're an absolute nightmare. And I think they've got those lads. Marlon Pack and all that will be on the next flight out to Ibiza straight after that game. And I just think Hull might have the edge on the day. It might be a 1-0. Honestly.
That's the thing, innit? Portsmouth have nothing to play for. West Brom have nothing to play for. Bristol City have everything to play for.
Yeah.
Derby and Stoke know that they can cancel each other out if they edge the bets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that might be how it plays out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
or a Derby win even, because Stoke are on 50 points, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're both Preston.
Isn't it?
So.
We all want to get out of it.
I love the Championship, mate. I love it.
And you've always said it, but it's easy to say it from a picture at the top, which Sheffield United, for a very recent history, well, for the past 10 to 15 years when they've been in, they have been. And and Burnley as well, us not as much so recent history, but you kind of look at the bottom half of it, and you look and there's like still 5 teams that could go down. You look at the playoffs and effectively there's 4 teams who can sneak in. It's Burnley and Leeds for the title. And you just think there are stories everywhere. And it's fantastic, isn't it? Brilliant.
Yeah. You just don't get it like this in the Prem, but we've discussed it at length, haven't we, already? The journey's better than the destination. We're all going to be miserable next year. Obviously, Jimmy, if you come up with us, which I think you will, we're all going to be miserable as sin next year.
I'd love to be as equally as miserable as you boys next year. I'd love it.
I'm sure you will.
I would.
Yeah, no, I think so. I want to get onto that chatter in a bit, lads, when it comes to, potential Premier League venture. I know, Jimmy, it's probably going to be very tough for you to talk about, but what I will say is that I'm just going to put it to you, because I'm very, very certain I'm 90% on the mark that Sheffield United will get promoted. I think your only stumbling point is Sunderland, but Bristol City getting there, I think Sheffield United will be fine. But when we're looking at the title, Jim Bob, we're looking at 2 teams. You're looking at an industrious, you're looking at a consistent, much more attacking and attacking with dynamism and fluidity in Burnley. You're looking at a Leeds side who have kind of got that point of promotion now. Well, we have got a point of promotion, and Leeds, the shackles have just been released, which we saw when we got promoted under Bielsa, and the shackles got released, and we just battered Stoke, battered Charlton, and it feels like it's the exact same now. Nobody cares really about defending. It's all about how many goals can you get, who can pitch in at the minute. I mean, how do you see it going, mate? Because obviously Leeds have got a tough game. Muslich has got a really good record, actually, at home park for Plymouth. But then you look at Millwall with something to fight for. There's stories for both teams in a sense, but maybe lesser for Plymouth as they're kind of already really consigned to relegation, aren't they?
Mate, I've... this in I got it right, blah, blah, blah. What have I said all season?
Burnley will be champions. You've always said.
No, I haven't. That's not true. That's not true. And this is taking note away from Burnley as well, because they have also... And I don't think they've... Only recently do I think they've started getting the praise that they deserve for the season, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think you'll both win at the weekend, which obviously means Leeds will be champions. But you're both on 100 points. I think it's an equally as impressive achievement. I think Leeds have blown it away in terms of the attacking flair, and will deserve all the plaudits that come with that, and will finish, essentially will be champions. But to go unbeaten for what will be 32, 33 games.
It will be 33 if we get past Millwall.
Conceding less than 16 goals is absolutely unbelievable. So you've both, in your own right, had an absolutely... and this is what we have to say as Sheffield United fans. We have been the third best team this season, and it's no shame to come third to two teams that have done so well. In any other season, other than last season, ironically, but most seasons out of the last however many years, what we've done this year would have been plenty to go up, and it's just not been, because we've been unfortunate to be in with two better teams than us, and that's the way it's shaken out, unfortunately, for us. But I think we can be proud of our performance as well this year, and we're going to give it absolutely everything we can in playoffs. And as I say, our backers in the playoffs, because I do think we are the third best team in the league. It just doesn't always work out that way. But yes, to answer your question, Con, I think Leeds will win it because there's only a game left. I would love it. It would have been, for me, it would have been sweeter if you're in this situation, you're both on 99 points and you play each other for the last game of the season. That would have been absolutely ideal. But
no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
It would. I'd love it. I'd love it. That would just
be a 0-0 again. It'd be a 0-0. Both get 100 points. Happy days.
yeah, possibly. So, yeah, I mean... that's what I think is going to happen anyway, lads. I think you'll both win at weekend.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we both win. And it's going to be a shame for us to finish on 100 points and not get the title, but it shows how good that we've both been this season. To both finish on 100 points and us to get, well, not nothing, but to not win the league. It will be a shame, but it just goes to show how strong that we've both been this year. And obviously Sheffield United as well, because you could end up on what, Jimmy, 92?
Yeah. Well, essentially 94.
The accrued league table.
The accrued league table. No, but that's we've won 94 points. If we win at weekend, we've won 94 points on the pitch.
And while they'll mention it, he will.
Then he deserves to. He deserves to mention it.
Do you reckon he'll mention that 3-game week when he completely lost his head or not?
He's mentioned it already. He's just said we all collectively had a terrible week, and that's what's we've got to face up to that, and that's where we are. So
fair point. Bjorn says Sunderland. I think Bjorn was on your channel as well, Jim. Bjorn's a great
top man,
a great member of the channel, and I really, honestly, Bjorn, some really top messages over the last week. So thanks so much, mate. I know you're going through a few bits as well, so shout out to you, Bjorn. Sunderland got a young team, can't handle the pressure of the playoffs. That's another really good point. Obviously, Sheffield United probably edged the experience a little bit there. I know there's Alan Brown in there, but aside from that, Sunderland's recruitment model.
You keep mentioning Alan Brown every time we talk about Sunderland, and I know you do your research on him, mate, for your second channel. But does he actually play a lot, Alan Brown?
I think he's played the last 3 because he's only got back from injury, hasn't he? About sort of 6 weeks ago.
But don't know.
Yeah, they've been playing him right back. They've been playing him centre mid. The big thing, Jim, something to take consideration of is Yelder has been playing left back for them, and Dennis Sirkin is back for the playoffs. It looks like he's going to be back, so that's big for them. So that gives them a little bit more balance, and he's a very, very good left back. So.
Would you say he's third best left back in the league after Harrison Burrows in first and Junior Firpo in second? Is that what you'd say?
I couldn't believe that.
Neither could he, apparently. That's a way to take it, isn't it?
Look, there's
how this season were a disgrace. Let's be honest.
Look, there's how he took it, but that team was an embarrassment. It was.
Hang on. You can only have 3 players from each team, though.
Yeah, see,
why?
That's what I said on my channel. That's what I said on mine. What Leeds player are you taking out then for Firpo? If you have to take a Leeds player out, that's why I didn't cry too much about Brownhill, because I'm like, well, you can't really take Trafford out, you can't really take CJ or Steve out, even though Brownhill probably deserves to be in it.
They're your 3 MVPs out there. They're your 3 best players this season,
easily.
Probably. But you can argue for Brownhill because he's had such a brilliant impact at the top of the pitch. But those 3, you've conceded 15 goals, haven't you, all season?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can't take them. You can't take one of them 3 out. You can't take one of them 3 out. And it's the same thing with the Leeds. Like, which Leeds player are you going to take out to fit Firpo in?
No, but what as well I don't understand with it is I think Firpo he's played 10 less games than Burrows. I know Jim backs Burrows to the hill. I get that, but my argument would be Firpo's got 14 goal contributions in 32 games, and Burrows has got 7 in 42. I think Firpo is a better. I think at least even if Jim thinks Burrows is better overall this season, the stats don't lie. Firpo's had a better season.
Not like Shakira.
But I think as well, you look at signs, Borja signs. Why is he?
That's the most scandalous one. It's not his team of the season, not team until November. He's been gash since November.
I think someone said someone online said he got like 2 goals since then. It's like what are we doing here? What are we doing? You know, to be fair, if you're looking at a set of, I mean, you could even look at, you know, obviously, you know, we put forward, Peru with top goal scorer, but you could definitely put through Ty Campbell in the second half of the season. You could definitely also put Zian Fleming forward. I don't understand how. I have no idea how I get Sargent to an extent, but Borja signs.
Sargent I get, but signs madness. No.
Shane says, folks, it's not always the team finishing third in the league who wins the playoffs. I fancy Sunderland to go up. Yeah, I don't think. To be fair, I don't think Jim's ignoring that. I think Sunderland are. I mean, you look at the 2 fixtures this season, especially if Sunderland have got a fully fit squad. It's a proper game. That if those two play in the final, it's a proper match. So
yeah, it's a game that.
Yeah, it'll be a really good game. Shane said that. Prabhu says, so Sheffield United and Sunderland have the weekend off to play their reserves and keep everyone fit for the playoffs. And that's another flaw in the playoff system. Should be top 3.
We won't play reserves. We just won't. I don't think we'll risk Hamer. I might be wrong. He might go with his strongest team just to get us flowing a little bit. But I don't think we'll risk Hamer. I'd be surprised.
Footy Fanatic said the craziest 3-game week I've seen in a while as a Blade. Folksy's a Reading Leeds fan. Shout out Folksy. I might be with him on Sunday.
I say meet him for a beer. Go meet him for a beer.
I will do Folksy if you can take me somewhere around here, pal. It gets me away from the missus as well. She's not.
Yeah, I'm going to say that'll help you in getting back in good books at missus.
I can tell you. See,
what treating her tomorroher.
Jim, what I do is I crash and burn. I can tell you just make up, mate. Do you know what I mean? Which is probably the less.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Correct.
But it's not Sheffield United. Shout out to you, folksy. Tom Barnsley, who I still can't believe is a Sheffield United fan with that name. The championship is incredible.
That's the most Yorkshire picture I've ever seen, by the way. I love it, Tom. Absolutely love it.
Do you know what I love about Tom? It's the name, the team he supports, and his
Proper Blade. Blade.
Paul says, if Sheffield don't go up this season, they will not go up next season. What are your thoughts on that, Jim? I know we've spoken about this, and Joe as well. And we can't look into the future too much because there's so much that can go on. I think Leicester, I think I don't know if you boys have seen today, but I think the EFL have almost redesigned their
some loopholes, didn't they?
Yeah, it's the loopholes that Leicester got through basically to move their accounts so that they didn't get the points deducted. And now the EFL have corrected that. So I think there's a bit of a grey area now as if, can Leicester now be taking points off effectively? So that's something to take into consideration. I know Arsenal looking at El Khanous, who's probably been their best player this season. Southampton are coming down. Tyler Diblin is probably going to be leaving, who would tear up the championship. But it is still 3 teams coming down alongside Ipswich. You got to look at the other side as well. Birmingham.
It's the teams coming up for me.
Yeah, it's the teams coming up as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So it's,
I'm not. Look,
I think it'll be quite open.
I think it'll be a tougher league next year. I do think it'll be because if you think about it, it's been a 3. It started off as a 4-horse race, but it's been a 3-horse race for the last.
It's been a crap league, Jim. It's been a crap league.
Yeah, it has. It has. If we're right, it has been a really poor league, and I think it'll be a stronger league next year. But I don't think we'll be significantly weaker. I don't. I think, and it's an assumption to just think that will be the case. We don't know what these new owners are like. We don't know whether they'll stick with Wilder if you don't get us up for an example. We don't know if they'll chuck money at it. We don't know if, they might say, I'm assuming that we will lose our best players. They might say, no, sod it, we're just going to go for it. We're keeping Gosema, we're keeping Vinny Souza, and we're going to build, and we're going to build, and we're going to go for it. So we don't know. That's an unknown quantity. The other side of the equation is that, they might think, oh, well, I'm stepping away. It's not quite what we thought it were going to be. And we'll sell Hamer, we'll sell it. Who knows which way it's going to go. So I'm not even thinking about next season yet. I can't, because we're in playoffs.
Yeah.
So how can I contemplate what we're going to be like in Championship when we might not even be there?
Well, Cole said, best of luck to the Blades in the playoffs. Top lad, Cole. We need you to come to the Prem so we can get 6 points off you.
Start off with thumbs up.
Well, I started well, but ended awfully. Well, from a Jimmy perspective, I quite liked it.
Yeah, that's it. And we know what happened last time they were in the Prem against us, Cole. So it deserved to be in the Prem.
That is the most roller coaster comment I've ever seen. Best of luck to the Blades in the playoffs. Great. We need you to come up to the Prem. Great. So we can get 6 points off you. Nope. Deserve to be up. Yep. Marching on together. Nope. Thank you very much.
Liam says, it's so unfair that you can be 20 points in front, Sheffield, and have a chance of missing out on promotion. I remember us saying it.
Correct.
The same thing with...
Change the rules now.
1920. Us finishing third behind Sheffield and Norwich. I'm sure it wasn't get third place up then.
Yeah, I'm sure the narrative would have been then, yeah.
1819, that. 1819. I remember it well.
Bobby says, I don't think our defence gets enough credit because of how Burnley have been defensive. That's credit to them. Bobby, it's a brilliant comment. It's a brilliant comment. We've conceded less chances than them. The problem is we've had a guy in net who's thrown about 12 goals in. So yeah, I think you bang on the money with that.
I would assume, and I don't know, but are you comfortably the second best defensive record in the league?
Yeah, they are. I think you're up there. I think if we hadn't been so good this year, Leeds are close to the all-time record as well. I'm not sure exactly what the all-time record is.
I think
that's just ridiculous.
No, but Jim, I genuinely think the big difference. I know you've spoken about when you're looking at the 5, and you are right, and you've spoken about the season, and you're talking about the stats of, Egan Riley, Esteve, Connor Roberts, Trafford, they've effectively got to be in there. There's a massive difference, mate. We have Trafford for this season, and when you've conceded less chances, I think there's an argument that we'd have an even better defensive record. Our defense has been unbelievable this season.
What if you had the best goalkeeper, or the second best goalkeeper?
That's what I mean. Like, people always say, "Oh, well, if Trafford's part of the defense, that's why we're so good."
I know.
And Connor Roberts. People always go, "Oh, you're only one because of your goalkeeper." Yeah, that's why we bought him. That's why he's there.
But I don't.
Yeah, but if you didn't have Trafford or Esteve or CJ Egan Riley, you wouldn't be where you are, Joe. So don't be so cocky.
But would you argue that we'd be in? I mean, what
do you want us to say, Con? What do you want me to say? If you had a better goalkeeper, would you have won the league earlier? Yes, you would.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
All I'm saying is, I think we're talking about Burnley's defence a hell of a lot.
Well, you could also say that if Burnley had a 20-goal a season striker, then they could have won the league.
Yeah, or if we had Edwards from the start of the season, for example, I think that's.
It's not a disparaging comment on Burnley. All I'm saying is, I think when we talk, Jim, you're talking about, and you have done for weeks, about this Burnley defence, and it deserves its merit, of course. But
correct.
I think there's also a team in the division who it's hard, isn't it? Because the defence comprises of the goalkeeper. But I do think our back four's been unbelievable this season. So I don't think Burnley have been an anomaly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they've been an anomaly of an.
I do.
Yeah, well, we actually. Thing is,
when you look
at all the goals conceded by teams over the years, we literally are an anomaly. I get what you're trying to say, but you've just worded it horrifically. We literally are an anomaly. That literally is the description of the definition of the word. Sorry.
The anomaly is James Trafford, mate. He's the anomaly.
No.
Stephen CJ is the anomaly. He's the anomaly.
Steve's the best defender in the league.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, he's not.
I think he is.
Who do you think it is? Have you changed your mind to Rodon now? You were saying Pascal earlier.
Yeah.
Pascal's not got enough games, but I would say you can put Rodon in the conversation. Yeah, 100%.
You didn't earlier in the season.
Yeah, you didn't rate him earlier in the season. Well, not that you didn't rate him. That's harsh, but you were definitely more of a Pascal fan. which I am, to be fair. I like Pascal.
I very highly rate Pascal, but I will concede. I will concede it's fair. Unlike Jim,
Connor, you can praise other teams, you know.
Who's not praising
Jimmy, can I just jump in? I know you, for the first time ever in my life, you're kind of sticking up for me here, but that's the richest thing I've ever heard anybody say.
Right, that's it, Joe. We're done. We're done. I tried that. We're an olive branch. I tried.
No, I just don't think there's that much between our defenses. That's all. I think how Jim talks about it as if it's.
I disagree. I think you're doing me a disservice there. I'm not saying Rodon and Strauch particularly are like not up there with the best defenders in the league, because I think they are. But to not say that Burnley are head and shoulders the best defensive unit in the league is madness, because they are. You can't then say, well, I tell you what, pick out their goalkeeper, the best goalkeeper in the league in terms of stats. I'd still have Michael Cooper.
But yeah, but okay.
Goalkeeper and put him in Leeds.
You even said it yourself. You even said it yourself.
Okay. I wouldn't swap. I wouldn't swap any Burnley defenders for any of our defenders. The only one I'd swap is
just scandalous, mate.
You know what, though? If you gave us Dan James out of your team and put him in our team, I think we might win league.
No, you wouldn't. You didn't have him in your team. Your combined 11s. What you on about?
Just the way it's performed this season.
You had Raksaki ahead of him.
No, I didn't. Check the tapes.
You didn't have Dan James in. You did not have Dan James.
What I'm saying is you could pick anybody's best player and it makes you a better team.
No, but I think you're missing it.
Look, you can't. I don't know what you're going to win the league on Saturday, and you can't help but bash Melier, can you? And it were all Farke's decision. Like, get him out.
You know what you're doing.
That's it now. You've done it. You've done it. You know, that's it now.
He stirred the pot.
Be a WhatsApp message later.
That's it. Yeah, WhatsApp message.
Pass the popcorn. Popcorn.
Yeah, Lewis E's become a YouTube member. Jimmy says, "Hey, my player that." Let's not go there, mate. Let's not.
No, let's go there. I want to hear Jimmy's thoughts on it. And
I'm just going to go a quick glass of water, lads. You can entertain yourselves for a second.
Okay. What do you want to know, Joe? What do you want to know, pal?
Thoughts on it? Do you think he deserves it? Based on this season, is he the best player in the league?
So if he was the best player, would you say he's in consideration for being the best player?
I think he's one of, but he's not been the best player in the league this season.
Do you not think?
No.
Have you seen him every game?
Well, no, but I've seen the stats. You don't need to watch every game.
Stats do not tell us. I'm not trying to be cute. What I'll say to you is, mate.
Of course they do. The stats tell the story. You just said that yourself about Trafford.
No, what I'll say.
You can't now change it.
What I can. It's got to fit the narrative.
You can't just change it. Now we're talking about something else. You've just said, stats are this. Stats are important. Then a minute later.
I'll tell you, of course stats are important. Of course stats are important.
Brownhill has had a better season than Gus Hamer.
In terms of output, yes, he has.
There you go.
What I would say about
I don't think he deserves to be it, by the way.
My word. Oh my word. Do you want me answer? Right, what I will say to you is...
I'm waiting for Connor to come back, because I don't like being on my own with you. There we go. You can speak.
Okay. Your minder's back. Right, so what I'll say about Gus Hamer winning the player of the season, he has not been the most consistent performer this season, which obviously should play a big part in whether you win the award or not. But what I will say is, when Gus Hamer plays well, we win.
He's not played well in
By the way, it can be said for Trafford playing well or Dan James being playing well. It can be said the exact same sentiment can be attributed to us.
I haven't
watched
as
those
much
players
this season as Dan James, Tanaka, Trafford, Steve. In my opinion,
what I can tell you is Hamer's probably had 3 or 4 off games, and the rest is either been 8, 9, or 10 in those games, in my opinion, and that's all it is. So he is a match winner on his own. We would not have won. Well. He's the best player in the league according to the EFL. So,
can I ask you one question, Jim? Would you say against Burnley twice and Leeds twice he's turned up?
I certainly don't think in the Leeds games he turned up particularly.
The answer is no. He turned up at Turf Moor. I'll give him that. He was probably the best player on the pitch.
I thought he did well at Turf Moor.
He was brilliant at the Turf, but at Bramall Lane, he was not poor, but just invisible. And I can't really comment on the Leeds games because I did watch them, but I watched them on telly and I can't really remember them that well.
But does that mean if you don't turn up, so there may be 3 games that he didn't turn up this season. I think he's had a couple more games than that where he hasn't turned up, and then when he has, he's won us the game. He's our best player. Wilder says it every time. He's our best player.
Jim, I like him. I like him. I do really, really like Gus Haim. I actually think he can definitely make the bridge between the Championship and the Prem. I just don't understand with 9 goals and 9 assists and him being not available a lot of the time and not really performing in the big games consistently, how he can win Championship play. I don't understand that.
And the output's not as good as other players that he was up against as well. He's definitely one of the best players in the league, but he's not had the best season. Nowhere near.
Well, that's up for debate. And when the EFL debated it, they disagreed. So
does that mean then, based on your logic, that Scott Parker is the best manager in the league?
I think he's done a brilliant job this season.
He doesn't.
That's not the question.
If you've got a gun to Jim's head and you say who's the best Championship manager, there's one answer.
You don't need a gun to me head, mate. I'll tell you, it's Chris Wilder all day long.
And that's where we leave it, because you've lost all credibility there.
What, for backing me manager?
You don't always have to. But I was surprised Parker won it. I can understand why he won it, but when I saw Trafford up for the player, CJ up for the young player, and Parker up for the manager, I thought maybe we have a chance. Well, I thought we'd have a big chance with Trafford. Maybe have a chance at CJ. I doubt Parker wins it. I actually thought Reggie Labrie.
Can we just go? You like pulling receipts, Connor, of everything I've said throughout the season. Yeah. Only a few weeks ago, we were in agreement that Chris Wilder was the man that we would all want in this dogfight. Before the 3-game week where it all went to the wall, we were all in agreement that Chris Wilder was the man that we'd want in our dugout if in those circumstances. And then since, obviously, it all went wrong for Sheffield United, that will obviously skew the...
new information has been given to us, so opinions can change based on the new information.
Well, there you
That's
go.
how it works.
So, Jim, if you to ask me ever again about a Championship final furlong, I'll say no.
I'll tell you what, Connor, who is the best manager in the league?
Ooh, that is a very good question, Jim. That is. I know. Question, but okay, you're not. You can't give.
No, but you're going to answer a question with a question. What I'm after is an answer.
It's a really good question. It's a really good question.
I know that's not an answer.
You could generally do a full stream on this. It's a difficult. There's no standout.
You're getting him out.
I'm not. You're not. Honestly, you're not. I'm not bottling the question. I think between Daniel Farke and Scott Parker, there's nothing in it. I don't think there's anything in it.
Wilder's done very well at this level, but failed at the level above.
Exactly. Wilder has proven more than Farke and Parker, but this season,
Farke and Parker.
But this season, Wilder's shown a lot of cracks. The purists of the game, Jim Bob, would look at Cifuentes, they'd look at Danny Roll. But I don't know, mate.
Danny Roll.
I knew that I'd get a reaction out of him.
Where's Danny Roll's team?
A lot of people are saying in the chat, Liam Manning has done an unbelievable job.
Yes, he has.
He's been unbelievable this season. The amount of injuries they've had, and to get him where they've got, he's done an extremely
very shrewd operator. Very shrewd.
He is, but he's a really that's probably the best question. Who would you say, Joe? Who would you go with?
I don't know. Again, like I said, we can do a full debate on it. You can have Park. You can have all 3 of our managers in the debate easily. You can have Eustace in the debate. As much as I don't like what he did down the road, he did a good job there. Manning in the debate. I think if it wasn't for the drop off in form from Sunderland over the last 6 to 8 weeks or whatever, I liked Reggie Labrie. What he's done at Sunderland and turned them around from what they were last season. If I had to choose somebody, I would choose Reggie Labrie. But the last 8 weeks or so have kind of sort of made me think, I think he's getting it wrong a little bit. If Sunderland then go up in the playoffs, I'll come back to it and say, look at the job he's done there. Look at where they were last season. But yeah, a lot of people obviously in the chat saying Manning as well and people like that. So yeah, I think if I had to choose one, I'd go for Reggie Labrie.
It's a good question. It's a very good question.
Thanks.
I think whoever sneaks into the playoffs on the final day wins it. Pure momentum and form will carry them across the line. Is it your secret wedding in Reading? Honestly, Nige. The
wedding in Reading. Love it. Nearly as good as Parker and Farker.
Can we let Connor's missus see that message? Is that all right?
You just want to see me suffer, don't you? Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Don't get me revenge somehow. Can't do it on pitch.
Dan says, Connor saying swap Trafford for Melier, Leeds would have a better defensive record. Exactly. That's all I was saying, Dan. They're just bullying me again. I'm doing the victim card. How did that fat hamster win the player of the season?
I can't believe you put that on screen.
That's Bobby.
He'd get in both your sides, by the way.
I think Connor and Jim just broke up. I think
no, mate, no. I'm in Reading. We're getting married.
He's on my Premier in bed. I agree with Connor about the back four. We may have conceded more than Burnley, but they have been better at helping the team transition into attack. Cov fan. Ooh, a Coventry fan. Bloody heck. And it's not Matt S.P. Hamer, best player in the league. We got to a playoff final because of him and lost because he went off. When we go up this time, he will return home.
Oh.
Imagine that.
Oh, another roller coaster.
Think he'll be on the pitch if we play,
What does Pete play up? Sky Blues. There we go. I've never
I love that. Cogs returning.
I've told you that so many times.
Yeah, I'm sorry. George says,
What's mean? What's puss mean?
To be fair, George, interestingly, mate, on a Leeds United channel, we had about 5 Mannings in there, and George, we've had only you who said Farker. He's won it, but how many times has Parker won it, Joe? Has he won it? He's won it.
He's won promotion.
This is his 3rd promotion, but I don't think he's won the league before.
Well, there you go. Maybe George's bang on then. You could be right. George could be bang on. Jimmy's man, the man. Paul. I'm going to call you Paul, mate, because I'm a.
This is the view from the mountain.
We allowing that again, Joe?
Yeah, I'll do it again if you want.
No,
Jimmy, you can just sing it again.
It's astounding. Man, mountain, strong and true. What a man, what a view. Bam, bam.
Okay.
Good for that.
Whatever happens with the Blades, we have a much better platform to build from. I think Paul's thanking me for that, to be honest, Jim. We have a much better platform to build from the start of next season. Best squad since the 9th Prem finish, Prem or Championship. If Hamer turns up, we're up.
I agree with that.
No.
As I tend to do with the Man Mountain.
What we're basing the platform on, the squad now, the new board. Leeds and Burnley are better squads.
The new board hasn't been tested yet. The platform of the squad is really strong.
You have to when you put a dig at Joe like that, he has to understand what you've done there. I don't think
he doesn't
straight over his head.
What do you mean?
Connor always does this with me. That thinks I'm some sort of idiot. I was like, we need to explain. I was watching the stream before. Like, we need to explain to Joe how to do YouTube. It's like, mate, I'm not an idiot, mate.
He's just
sitting here and taking it. What do you want me to? He's just took the piss out of my accent. Simple as that.
That's all it is. That's all it is, Connor.
No, yeah. How can that go over my head unless I'm like 6? Connor, you must think I'm an idiot, mate. You do it all the time with me.
Yeah, Connor.
Am I getting the flack now?
Yeah, Connor.
He's
not an idiot, Connor.
Sorry.
Jimmy's just mean. Oh, hey. I'm used to it.
I'm playful.
So is Paul saying there next season? Is he saying
he's
next
the Man Mountain, actually? But he's saying whatever happens. If you read the comment, whatever happens with the Blades, we have a much better platform to build on at the start of next season. So whether that's Championship or Premier League, yes, we'll lose some players in the Champ, but we have a much better platform to build on. It's the best squad we've had since 9th Prem finish. Right, absolutely agree with that.
Okay. What about then if you went up and you lost last time you went up, you lost Illiman and Jai and you lost Sander Berger. What if a team came in and took Cooper and Hamer off you? What would you do then?
They wouldn't, because there's not a contract situation like there was for Ndiaye and Berger.
Right.
The only player that could happen to is Anel. And to be honest, I think he's replaceable.
Oh wow, you've changed.
Not what you're saying about
Premier League. If we're a Premier League side, if we're a Premier League side, he's replaceable.
Wow. And so what's going on?
Do you not think Joe Rodon would be replaceable?
Can I just chime in? I don't think Esteve is. I think we're screwed.
Oh, no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I think Joe Rodon going to the Premier League is a massive asset for Leeds United. Big asset.
That's not my question. Do you think he's replaced? He's an asset, and Anel's an asset for us, but do you think Joe Rodon would be replaceable? Pascal. That's the question, though. Pascal Struijk, then, if that's an easier question, because he's been linked away. If you sold him to Tottenham after, in the close season, is he replaceable?
Well, Estev's replaceable. Everyone's replaced.
No, he isn't. No, there's a difference in level. What Joe's saying is, you take him out, Burnley is significantly weaker and wouldn't be able to get a replacement on the same level. Do you think you could get a replacement on the same level as Struijk?
Right, I'm not being pedantic here. Why couldn't Burnley get someone if they're a Premier League club who's as
because
good?
Esteve, if he leaves Burnley, he's going to a European team. Joe, do you disagree with that, mate?
I agree. I think we'll struggle to find somebody of Steve's quality, especially for selling late in the window. We obviously did well finding him. He's only been here 18 months, and we got him. I think it was from Montpellier. I can't remember exactly. So the recruitment is decent in some areas. Obviously, you could argue there's other ones that isn't, but to replace somebody as good as Steve, like it took us a while to replace Tarky, for example, and obviously you could argue that Steve's not as good as Tarky right now. I think he will be, but yeah, I agree. If we've got Trafford as well, potentially leaving, probably will. We've got CJ out of contract. We could end up doing what Sheffield United did last time. I'm quite worried about that.
Joe, you're a Premier League club. What do you mean you couldn't replace him? Why not?
Because there's bigger Premier League clubs going for their best players. That's what he's worried about.
They're going to be one of the top 20 clubs in world football. Why?
Yeah, and they have to be one of the top 17 to not be worried.
I'm not. No, there's no.
What do you mean, nah?
You got to remember, we bought Steve when we were a Prem club as well. No, so I guess like it's the
so could you do it? So could you do it again?
Well, no, we could, but it's not impossible. But it's not. We're not likely to get somebody that good again.
So why don't I tell you what, Connor? If it's that easy, why don't you go and buy another Michael Cooper for £2 million?
We might do.
You might do, but what's the chances? They're not easy finds, is what I'm saying. It's not as easy as just saying, well, we're in Premier League now, so we can definitely build a squad that's good enough to stay here. Who's to say you can do that? That's what everybody strives for every season. Every club's trying to do exactly the same thing and get better.
You've got to trust your recruitment, haven't you? So with our recruitment in the past couple of years, it's been very, very good. So I look at going up to the Premier League, and I think our recruitment is probably going to follow that mould. Is that not fair?
It is fair, but it's not been tested, has it?
Yeah, and it doesn't always work out like that. You will sometimes buy a few duds, and then that ends up ruining the squad, especially when you're losing big players.
Or if you're United, you can buy,
for example,
every single player that's a dud and go straight back down.
With a win from experience.
Yeah, correct.
I think Leeds have given. I think we've given, because of our second season, how good it was in terms of recruitment. I think it's risky with the three coming down and the teams coming up to say that you're going to be in a better stead next season. And that's almost like a bit of insurance for you. I think you'd need to get up this season if I'm Blades.
I don't disagree that it's very important that we go up this season. And he's not talking about we have a better chance of promotion next season. He's talking about we will have a better grounding as a club. We will have a better foundation as a club. It don't mean that there won't be three better teams than us in league, because there might be. But I think we have every chance next season of being just as strong, if not slightly stronger than we are this year in the Championship, personally. It's happened to Leeds. You lost ticket name players, didn't you? Big ticket players. And you sold 100 million quid's worth of talent. You brought in 30 million quid's worth, and you spread the responsibility across the team, essentially.
But I'd be more worried if we had that team that we've got this season, I'd be much more worried. And I think Joe would probably be much more worried if we were just planted in that season next year. I mean, it's more applicable to us because we'd be in our second year of parachute payments and you guys have just been relegated. If we were to be plucked in the year next year of the Championship, I'd be more worried about that, to be honest. Like, this year's been a very good year because of the standard of the Championship, if I'm honest.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably fair. That's probably fair. But I think I agree with Paul in so much as we have a chance of being just as strong, if not stronger, as a team next year. Whether that's going to be good enough to get out of the league, that's not what he's saying. So.
Okay, fair enough. Paul, I'll tell you what, mate, if you want to just put those comments in, mate, you can just be our topic of debate, pal. So well done to you. Cheers, Paul.
Producer Paul.
Producer Paul, yeah, we'll get him on. Danny Roll, Parker and Farker are average at best. Kelly says, hi guys, just finished work, loving the streams. Thanks, Kelly. Jimmy says, what I hate is the comments that you will come straight back down.
I agree with this.
Yeah, I agree, Jimmy.
I agree.
It does my bulb in. It does my bulb in.
It's like you put a post up saying get in back in the Prem after one season, we bounce back again instead of like ending up like a Stoke or a Hull or whatever. People's like, oh yeah, well you'll just go straight back down. It's like they see somebody happy and they're just saying, I need to bring that guy down. I need to bring that person down. Yeah, we probably will go straight back down. Give us loads of grief next year. At least let us have a week to celebrate. And you know what? If it's just the average man on the street, it don't really bother me. But it's like the day after promotion, I was driving into work, listening to national radio, and you've got people saying like, oh, well, they'll definitely both go down. I'm like, well, you're meant to be the media. At least give us a chance to celebrate and enjoy it. You know, we've got promoted with like, 3-4 games left of the season. It's a good thing of what we've done. After all the players we've lost in the summer, let's just enjoy it. And I know you felt the same, Con, as well, because you were voice noting in the WhatsApp group, and it was winding me up as well.
Yeah, I think that what bothers me that much about it is me and Jim have had loads of chats about it as well, like previously, and then obviously Joe, I know you've come in and we've had chats about it too. But it's just the fact, I was looking at Luton today. When they finished 18th, Luton lost. I think they drew 1 in their last 3. Forest finished 6 points ahead of them, and Forest won 2 out of the last 3. That's how much you can spin. Forest just won 2 of the last 3. And it's like that got them out of it. 6 points away from Luton, who finished 18th. That Luton team who went up. I mean, how many differentials are there in that Luton team in comparison to the Championship who are struggling now? What Ross Barkley? Maybe, I can't think of that many more, to be honest with you. So I think there's a lot of context to be applied. I think with how Burnley play, it'll be interesting going up next season and the investment and how they'll cope with much more attacking team and onus on them to defend to the highest tilt. I think they've defended this year, but they've not been tested as much, obviously, as they will be in the Premier League. So Burnley's defence, how good is it in the Premier League? Similar to Leeds, obviously, but our attack has been much more flowered up and spoken about when it comes to the options that we've got going forward. And Sheffield United, can they perform better than they did last time when they were in the Premier League very recently? There's so many conversations, but I genuinely believe from a Leeds perspective, I don't know about you boys, and this is quite an interesting conversation to just get into. I think let's look at the premise that Sheffield United get promoted with brand new backers as well. I think Leeds will give a right good go of it next year, lads. And this is probably people are going to bookmark this, and I understand that. And clip this up, and I'm fair to be shot at, but I think we're going to give it a right good go next year. How are you feeling about your two clubs if, Jim, you were to get promoted as well?
It's going to be tough, though, isn't it? Like it's going to be tough, and Jimmy will probably say you can't even think about it next season because they're not up. And for me, it's just moved on so much. I'm not saying that nobody can do it, and I don't think it's going to be as bad next season as what it's been this season. I think Leeds and Burnley will do better than Leicester and Southampton, for example. But whether that's enough to stay up, I don't know. It's going to be tough. And I've seen comments obviously saying, what's the point if you don't think your side can stay up and stuff? And I get that. But you've also got to be realistic. It's very difficult, and it's getting harder and harder every year. Like, look at what people keep pinpointing Wolves. They're going to lose Cunha, so that they're going to be there to be shot at. Potentially, yeah, but they've just lost 5 in a row without him. So that they're going to do well. Your Brentfords are better than what they used to be. Your Palaces, your Forests, all these teams are just getting better and better and better with years and years of investment. And Leeds probably will stand the best chance because of the backing of the 49ers. And I expect them to spend a lot of money. But again, we've both got managers that are unproven at that level. So again, can they then make the step up? It's so many different sort of permutations straight away. So like if Farker doesn't win one of his first 6 games, for example, he could be gone straight away. And then you have to restart. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. It really is. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Jim, you're not even entertaining it right now.
I can't, mate, because I feel like I'm jinxing it by even talking about it. Like same reasons I don't really want to think about Championship too much, because you get yourself in a bit of a mindset then, don't you, I think? But I can throw it back to you, I suppose. What are your thoughts, mate, on how Leeds will get on?
I think we'll spend a lot of money. The interesting part of it is going to be, I think Farker's still a massive conversation. I just wonder what they're going to do. I just wonder if they're going to keep him. Fantastic. I don't think any Leeds fan is 100% sure with the articles that have been coming out, and I don't want to put anything out there. It's not propaganda or anything like that, but it does feel like, for me, I don't know. I don't understand why the owners haven't come out and just fully backed him. Your club statement or a little.
Why would they though? Why
it
would
sets
they?
a precedent though, doesn't it? I agree.
Yeah.
It sets a precedent to just constantly coming out and backing managers when there's just a few rumours in the press.
Yeah, no. I understand that. I just think with Leeds, there's been a lot of noise. There's been the Guardian, the Telegraph, obviously Mike Keegan, who is evidently very close.
There has, but you're giving them what they want, aren't you? If you come out and you say, "Oh, well, we publicly back," and to be fair, you can't do right for doing wrong, because the public will come out and do it, and it's classed as what, a vote of confidence, really, isn't it? So then it adds even more speculation. I think they'll stick with him now. I thought at one stage that they would change it, and I thought, I'm on record as saying it, and I still think it would be big club mentality to do that, in terms of, if you can get somebody that's better than Daniel Farke, that will be a statement manager appointment, somebody like Mourinho, for example. And I know we've discussed this, so I'm not going to go over all ground. I thought that would be a really strong move by Leeds. I also see the point of sticking with him, because he's got you up there. He's got you 100 points, possibly, most likely.
Leeds' best ever points haul in the history of the club.
Exactly right. So if you're talking morally, which you shouldn't always talk morally in football, it shouldn't be based on sentiment. But I think he does deserve a chance when you think about it in that respect. Can Daniel Farke attract the sort of players that you'll want? Time will tell, won't it? Time will tell. He's attracted enough players to significantly boost your squad value. So players like Ramazani and things like that, and Nonto stay in and things like that, retain your transfer value as a squad. So I think you can be happy either way as a Leeds. You can certainly be optimistic going into it, because I think you'll be going for it financially as well, to be fair. So we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. I think when I was talking about like publicly backing him, it's maybe just, let's say if we hear something at the end of the weekend, if there's a club statement, and let's say hypothetically Leeds win the league, or I presume they're going to put something out on the website. And we'd just like to thank everybody in the background, the staff, excellent. We can't wait to next season where Daniel and the boys, go at it, or whatever. They're going to word it around it. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. But Daniel and the boys, just basically the inference that Leeds are going to go forward with the manager. I think it doesn't have to be even just full confirmation, but I think that would give the fan base a lot of, right, okay, let's steady down now. All the news that's been pelted out over the past.
What about a new contract, Con?
Well, he's got 2 years left, hasn't he? He's got 2 years left. So yeah, 1 or 2 years left. So, but it is interesting. It is interesting because, like Jim said, interesting when he said big club mentality there. I would give him the start of the season, and I think what they've got to do is they've just got to back him. That now, if that's the choice, if he's the choice, they got to back him, and we've got to move on. And now the focus turns to the 49ers and obviously Daniel Farke, but the 49ers with their recruitment, that's where it's got to turn now. But we can't be looking at Farke in, Farke out, all that rubbish. You got to turn it. We've got to be looking together as a group, and we'll have to wait and see. When is the Blade wearing a Leeds top? Yeah, we've got to. I'll wait for after the playoffs. I think that's fair.
Whoa! Well, I were going to request it done before.
Imagine if they don't go up and you're like, right, so you're going to hop on stream now. You're just sticking the knife in, mate. Do it now. We're not right now. Next week.
I'd rather do it sooner rather than later, because, like Joe says, if we've not gone up, then I'll just be miserable. So
okay. We just have to think about a time where we can get together, and I can hand.
Just post it if you can't. Just post it. Send it up. Jimmy will conveniently. Oh, it's not arrived.
If you order it online and send, I can give me address. Obviously, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, mate. Whatever you want to do.
Imagine him just handing that Leeds United pass.
Not everything is for content, Connor.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to film it. I wanted to just film me giving you it, but
I'm glad we never filmed when you came to Bramall Lane. I'm glad we never filmed me sizing you up for that Sheffield United shirt like we were gonna do.
You try to get me in that club shop, and I refused.
I know.
Dan says, I hate to be that guy. Are Leeds not able to attract to the Premiership? Last time we got Rodrigo and Rafinha. I don't know if you've heard of him, lads. Rafinha, pretty good player. I've seen West Ham are in financial difficulties for next season. Also, Tottenham without Europa League will be. Adam, I just don't think Tottenham are going to be in any danger of the bottom three. To be
There's
honest,
levels, isn't there? There's levels.
Yeah. Jim Bob's Leeds shirt should have Wilder on the back.
No, he'd love that. He'd love that. Don't do something good.
I think he'd just like crayon it red and he'd keep it probably. Shane says Leeds will definitely stay up 14th and 15th with a few good signings. Confident. Here he is, the big timer,
top man.
Who does everyone?
See you soon, Matt. See you soon, mate.
Who does everyone want and least to make the playoffs?
Least Blackburn.
Least
Obviously.
Millwall.
Least
Coventry as well for least, I think, for me.
Least Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I keep forgetting they're in with a shout.
Yeah, least Middlesbrough. I just think it's just pitiful, isn't it?
I'd love Bristol City to get in it.
Yeah.
And I don't mind Millwall getting in it, but obviously that means they have to beat us on the final day. So.
I think it'd be funny if Millwall got in.
Imagine Millwall in the Prem.
A Leeds.
I know Leeds and Millwall don't get on, and I'm not their biggest fans, but you could just imagine them in the Prem. It would be hilarious.
Let's not.
The worst thing would be we could bring in whoever we want, and we'd still get out of Millwall and lose 1-0. They'd definitely beat us. So I'm not sure about that, but. How are we at the last game already? It's
as you get older, though, it does go by a bit quicker. Ain't that right, Jimmy?
Yeah. I had Callum Fowler telling me there's no way today. There's no way you're going to understand technology. You're about 50, aren't you? No, mate, I'm not 50.
60.
I swore at him actually. So
name drop.
Yeah, huge name drop there. Clang.
Leeds United have to put their money where their mouth is. Let's see what the 49ers do. Spend wisely. All right then, lads. Let's should we get on to a few final predictions for this weekend? Then I guess it's probably poignant to start with. I don't know. Should we just go on and just speak about who we think's going to make the playoffs, who we think's going to win the league, who we think's going to get relegated? I guess we can start at the bottom of the league. Joe, we'll start with you, mate. How do you think it's going to end up in terms of relegation picture?
I've said already. I'll just quickly get in the league table up. I just don't think Hull win against Pompey. I'd love Preston to get relegated for Lancashire rival reasons, and obviously what happened earlier in the season between Burnley and Preston and Osmajic. I'd love to see them get relegated.
Could happen.
I just it could, and the fact that they're in this position now just shows how bad they've been over the last 6 weeks. They've really fallen off a cliff because they didn't look anywhere near in any danger. But I think the bottom three stays as it is, just not to be boring. But I think Hull get beat.
Yeah, I'm just even looking at the goal difference. There's one between Preston and Hull. Is that enough?
Well, yeah, obviously if Preston are losing and Hull draw, then by that logic, they'll go above them.
You kind of need a big Bristol win, don't you? I'm honestly, I think Luton win on the last day of the season. I think I'm going to go Preston, Plymouth, Cardiff. I think Preston go down.
I would love it.
I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. I like Paul Heckingbottom, but I think
I like Heckingbottom. To be fair, I do like Heckingbottom, but
I think they might drop.
I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Preston dropping from where they were, flipping out. All right, so we're looking at the playoffs. Ninth upwards, lads. I'm looking at Borough. I mean, Borough have won 1 in 5, and then you look just one ahead. Blackburn have won 4 out of 5.
Where's that come from, though? By the way, they were awful when Ishmael came in. They were god awful. All of a sudden, they just start winning games. They were.
It'll just make them press like mad, and they'll just be route one. That's what Ishmael will have them doing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think it's going to end up. I think it's going to end up how it is, lads.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it's going to be
Bristol win. Coventry, who is it? Coventry got Middlesbrough. Yeah. They both win that.
Yeah. I think that's how it's going to end. So nothing too controversial apart from Preston. And then Jim said he reckons Leeds will win the league. Joe, you've not said who you think?
No, I think we both win. I think we both win at the weekend. I think you win easily against Plymouth. And I think great past Millwall, both finished on 100 points. But obviously, unless we score, 13 more goals than you, then yeah, it's going to be Leeds. So yeah, I think Leeds will win it.
Right, and we'll do some. Obviously, we're going to do some playoff coverage as well because it gets entertaining, doesn't it, Joe? It gets entertaining after.
I cannot wait to sit in front of the TV with a beer, nice and relaxed, watching Sheffield United against Coventry.
No, you won't be doing that. You will not be doing that. You'll be tuning into Jim's watch along. That's what I'll be doing with the beer. Can I come in, Jim? Can I come in?
Jim will be on the phone. The match will be on the telly. Just watching him when it goes in. I went back and watched the Blades watch along and went goal for Burnley, and I just love it. They're just goal for Burnley. Oh, it's a penalty. Brownhill taking it.
Jim, how are you feeling towards it, mate? You nervous yet or not? Do you reckon
no, not yet. I'll be if we get through the semis, I'll be really nervous for the final. Really nervous. But we've got a ramble.
Why don't you give your channel to me and Connor to do a watch along for the final? Because obviously you'll be at the match.
Yes,
we can do a joint watch along together.
I could do that.
Blades Ramble.
Jim's thinking about the numbers.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly.
I might let you have behind the ramble. I could honestly. I might think about that if you want to do
it. He's like, ding.
That's a great idea.
It would get numbers, that I'm afraid.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
It's all about the numbers, he says.
Yeah, Joe just panning off anybody who just turns around in there and says,
"Oh yes, I can hide all from channel on footy."
Oh yeah, no, we can't. No, I'd have to have some protections in there.
No, just let your mods do all that sort of stuff.
Joe just having a go at Sheffield United. I don't hate you.
just banning all that.
By the way, dipped into the hustle the other day. Great chat, by the way. Literally, the first 30 seconds of me watching it, Joe hates. He does. Joe hates Leeds. For God's sake, can't even chill in my garden and watch it.
Got a bite straight. I knew it. I know.
I went like this. Beer in the literally beer in the garden. I went. Drank no beer. I was fuming.
Fuming like you fuming about Sheffield United. You hate Sheffield United.
You do it, Sheffield.
I have noticed you actually hate Burnley. I think that's where this narrative derives from. But I'm fine with it.
Not one bit.
Jim, which football team do you hate the most, mate?
Apart from Wednesday, obviously.
It used to be Leeds United, in all honesty. It did.
But now he's looked at that subscriber count.
But sold his soul. He stole
a man can be bought. It's definitely
a man can be bought. Oh God!
It's definitely Sheffield Wednesday. Definitely.
Who's second then?
I don't like Nottingham Forest.
Without it being Wednesday.
Forest.
Horrible. Anything happening past with them and you?
Yeah, several things.
A lot of teams actually, Yorkshire teams in particular, really don't like Forest.
Yeah, there's a lot of history between the two clubs, and that's about it, really. That's about it for I don't like Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't like Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't like Liverpool.
I don't like Liverpool. I'm glad.
I don't want to say too much because if we do get promoted, I want to attract Liverpool fans to the channel.
And then suddenly you're back hating Leeds again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Who?
Just got all the Liverpool fans subscribing. Jim's on 70k.
I lost 2,000 Leeds subscribers, but it were worth it.
Oh God. Matt, look. Matt, I'll be honest.
It's an obvious answer for you, Connor. Don't even answer truthfully.
I prefer Man United to Liverpool.
I prefer Man United to Liverpool, 100%.
Matt, the thing is, you can't.
Who does Connor love more, Man United or Liverpool?
You can't call them that on this channel as well, Matt. There's a thing with Leeds fans. You cannot call
them. Call them scum. You've got to call them scum.
You cannot attribute United to them.
No, you can't. We are United.
We are United. You are more than them.
We are the first United.
Matt, it's absolutely them scummers.
He might have meant Leeds United, by the way. We just said United. You don't know which United he meant.
Yeah, might meant Sheffield United.
And as Paul says, can I shock you? I'm still waiting for you, Paul.
he's probably still on red wine. Him.
I'm still waiting, but if I was in charge, I'd be dropping the United at Leeds. I think we're Leeds. We're not Leeds United. We're not Leeds United. We're Leeds.
Why don't you bring that crest back? That crest.
Yeah.
Oh, careful! You're getting some Leeds subscribers there. Careful, Connor. You are wrong. We are Leeds. I mean, Chris. I think I've just said that, mate. You need to just wait on a second.
Fair to Chris, I think you put that up before you said that.
Cov go up. O'Hare crying. Okay, yeah. Matt says, "Yeah, Oxford." I meant
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
he always hated Oxford United, the scum.
Evan says, "What's everyone's favourite moment of the season?" Okay, lads. I would say, I'll be honest. I think weirdly the Sunderland winner. When we were not great the whole game. Sunderland, I thought, were in control for about 75 minutes, and then we got to a flurry in the last couple of minutes, which I didn't expect, and I lost it with my family, which was great. Not at my family, but with my family. Yeah, that was probably. I know everyone will say.
You.
I know everyone will say. Look, I get the promotion thing. I'm just trying to be a bit indie and a bit niche here. What would be yours? What would be yours, Jim? Would it be losing to Millwall at home?
That's mine.
Wow.
This is where I lose the Sheffield United for subscribers, isn't it? I'm sorry.
It's just no need, is it?
I'm sorry.
I would say, in terms of a goal, it was. I went balmy for. I were on stream actually. I went balmy for Harrison Burrows' winner at Bristol City.
Oh,
but at the moment, it has to be the winner at Hillsborough in terms of the game and the occasion.
Matt could be spot on here. I love that moment.
Matt, I thought we were mates. We may well be. Look, we may well do some content together over the next couple of weeks if you do your bit. But
that was unbelievable. Wilder in the tunnel. I predict a riot. Unbelievable. That was insane.
Yeah, so we don't have to do best manager in league. We do hardest manager in league if you want. I reckon Wilder takes both your managers.
No, Wilder's all gob. He's just mouth. That's what he is.
Nah, don't mess with him.
Can I just rewind since I didn't get asked? Zian Fleming's winner at Blackburn. That's obviously one.
See what I mean, Joe? You see, it just shows you no respect.
I've noticed.
Move on.
I've noticed both of you, by the way, not just you, Connor. Jimmy starts it. Connor just carries it on.
Yeah.
Zian Fleming's winner at Blackburn, and as Tony said in the chat, Tony didn't say that, but as Tony
David
said,
McGoldrick. What's David McGoldrick got to do with this?
David McGoldrick's is weird. It's down here. It's like, what you doing? Get your arms up, mate.
Well,
Zian does it proper.
Yeah. Second is always
2
proper.
penalty saves against Sunderland.
Oh yeah, that was iconic. That was unbelievable. To be fair, like as a football moment, that was unbelievable. That could be the moment.
Ironically, I know Bjorn's taking the mick, but ironically, that game finished 0-0, so it's technically right.
So many 0-0s. But yeah, we should do like an end of season awards, lads, as a battle line show.
Biggest bottle jobs. Preston. That's what I'm going for. The look on his face.
I'd have said Borough. I was thinking immediately Borough, no one else.
Preston were mid-table 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Look at that smile. That's evil.
What me or Connor?
Mid-table 6 weeks ago.
I don't smile at them.
They're going down this weekend.
I think this is a separate video, Louis.
Yeah, we've done bits on that, but yeah.
Louis, if you think I'm going to back down because we finished third, you're very wrong.
Louis, I can tell you for a fact.
There'll be 4 Blades in there.
Harrison Burrows will be in it. Harrison Burrows
4 Blades, 3 Leeds, 3 Burnley. That's what's happening.
Louis, I can tell you for a fact, Alfie Gilchrist is still at right back.
Why not?
Right, we will leave it there, everybody. We've been going for about an hour and a half. Really appreciate it.
Who does streams that long?
I know, it's bad, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's because I'm doing nothing tomorrow, so I'm making this last. Tom says Connor's reaction to Plymouth's second goal. Let's leave that there. But yeah, make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing, everybody. Check out Turfcast Pod, obviously, as well. Check out the Blades Ramble. And we will be back next week for another Battle Lines, which will be feet up time for me and Joseph. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you in a bit. Cheers.